Hey guys, DB right here, and today, with the official beginning of Gine week, I am kicking things off with a brand new what if idea. And this one I think is going to be pretty a doozy on some levels, but I think this would be actually really fun as well. And well, let's see how well I do. It's not often I do a what if that's so, I guess, out of it. However, I do admit they are a bit more challenging to write and come up with, and what's the word? Yeah, just more fun in a way. And this is, what if Gine was raised by King Cold? And well, our story begins, and well, grant you, we don't really have that much information on who Gine was prior to her appearance in the DragonBall Minus storyline, but assuming that she was always born weak and more or less abandoned by her parents to scrounge and survive as best she can on planet before, you know, the higher ups shove her in with Bardock's crew. Well, our story is going back basically prior to that, back to Gine's childhood, back when she is more or less abandoned by her family and more or less just scrounging around and surviving as best she can. And well, in terms of this, King Cold has enslaved the Freezer Force and has more or less spawned his offspring Cooler, and yeah, he's just making basically just sort of a routine inspection on how things are going on planet Vegeta's world. And yeah, well, things are coming along pretty nicely. They've got their Saiyan scopes, the space pods, and are doing some pretty good work for King Cold. And well, one day, Gine, just curious, and being a child, not really knowing much of anything, not really knowing what King Cold is and what all this stuff is. She's heard little bits and pieces about it and everything. Well, she gets curious one day and, well, decides to have a look at the spaceships. These are things that Gine hasn't really seen before. You know, usually it's under 24-hour guard, and well, this was just sort of the one opportunity she had to sort of slip in and take a look. And well, this leads to her becoming face to face with King Cold himself. And who are you, little girl? Where are your parents? And Gine just sort of nervous, not really talking or saying anything. Well, speak up, girl. And she just says she has no one, that she's just been living on her own, surviving on the streets as best she can. Really? Well. And at that moment, King Cold was more or less thinking about killing Gine, just not because he's just in the mood to kill something. It was more or less a mercy killing, you know. She's probably going to die on the streets anyway, and, you know, even if she does survive, is she really going to be of use to the rest of the Saiyans or to the Freezer Force? He does have his men with him who are reading her power level, and it's pretty low. But, however, he has a second thought. King Cold actually has a second thought and decides, well then, child, how would you like to come along with me? You know, I have a son about your age, and well, if you come along with me, I promise you, you'll be well fed and looked after. Not to mention, you'll be able to see what goes beyond your little dirt of a world here. How about it? What is your name, dear?
My name's Gine.
Well then, Gine, what do you say? And well, Gine, she was already just smitten with wonder about these spaceships that she was looking at. So yeah, she more than happily takes King Cold's definitely more than generous offer. And eventually she's basically taken off to King Cold's planet, and she more or less has her own sort of quarters. She's not just sleeping there, on the streets. King Cold has provided her, with some pretty amazing quarters, and a change of clothes, a Freezer Force uniform, even comes with a cape, so she almost looks like royalty up there, and she is more or less being treated as such. And she is introduced to King Cold's first child, Cooler, who is they are more or less getting along. And with that, it is kind of funny, King Cold trying to quiz Gine on other worlds and things like that, and that's just going through one ear and out the other at this point. She doesn't know much, and Cooler, is more or less enjoying being the smarter one. And Cooler has pretty much ordered his son to refer to Gine as his sister, in a way. This is the adopted sister. King Cold is essentially adopted a Saiyan. So really, I guess you could say if Gine had a last name, it'd be Gine Cold. Assuming the Cold race has last names. It kind of sounds cool, doesn't it? Gine Cold. I like it. So yeah. And needless to say, rather than Gine, eating a lot of food and having her table manners, Gine has a lot to learn if she's gonna be a true member of this family. And with that, Berry Blue and Kikuno basically have her in her studies, and Kikuno basically trying to teach her to use cutlery. And more or less, Cooler is more or less going off trips with his father, learning more about the business. And while that's going on, when King Cold finally does return, and Gine is more or less grown up a little bit. She's a couple of years older now, and her language is a lot more fluent. She's a lot more competent, and she definitely talks a lot more like a royal, and has actually displayed quite clever intelligence in learning about the other planets and all the other things that Kikuno and Berry Blue are more or less teaching her. And it's to the point where King Cold's become impressed by this, and now it's time for Gine to continue with her training and becoming a decent warrior. Hopefully, they could bring her up to the sort of level that a member of the Cold race would have. You know what I mean by that. And so, they have Gine having sparring session with members of the Freezer Force, and despite her being a power level of this is even prior to her time with Bardock from the original, so she'd be less than 500. She'd be 250, something like that. Not very strong at all. So just your average soldier, maybe some new recruits sparring with Gine, and Gine a little timid about training and hurting people at first. It's just not really in Gine's nature. It never was in the timeline. However, with eventually her getting pounded on enough and her true Saiyan instincts taking over, she does eventually manage to defeat some of the recruits and actually beginning to find her taste for battle. See, with enough patience and enough training, and not just throwing someone straight into the deep end, well, eventually you will break through to them. And well, from there, Gine just starts getting stronger and stronger, beating recruits even more easily than originally, and to the point where she's even developed the killer instinct, the kind that King Cold and Cooler actually have. And this is beginning to impress King Cold to the point, well, eventually Gine was able to develop the strength that she was even able to best Dodoria and Zarbon, and as a reward, King Cold actually made Gine a temporary member of the Ginyu Force. And yes, you may imagine Gine doing those hilarious Ginyu Force poses. And well, her pose is more or less similar to what Jocko does. And well, in the meantime, the years have gone by and Gine has more or less hit adulthood. And well, since then, King Cold has become very disappointed in his first offspring, King Cold, essentially decommissioning him, mostly because that Cooler turned out to be too much like his old man, and King Cold didn't really want that. Otherwise, there was pretty much the threat that Cooler might just do away with him and run things exactly the same. And well, you couldn't really have that. So, with Cooler more or less out of the picture, King Cold's more or less paying more attention to Gine. However, he has since produced his next offspring. This would, of course, be Lord Frieza. And, well, Gine, who was more or less taken charge since, performing sort of Cooler's duties and ruling planets in the name of the Cold Empire and learning a lot, she's like the perfect older sister figure to teach his new offspring, when he's ready to take over the Empire himself. And well, more or less, Frieza's still more or less in a nursing capsule. He hasn't quite woken up yet. And well, while King Cold's more or less waiting for Frieza to finish maturing, he decides to send Gine back to her home world and just to check on things, see how things are going on down there. And well, when this ship arrives, King Vegeta is surprised that they're being meted by another Saiyan. A Saiyan with a tail, no less, and the power they're reading off their scouters is phenomenal. She is stronger than the king. And he's like, what? Who are you? What's the meaning of this? I was expecting King Cold. Well, unfortunately, my father is busy with other duties. Gine suddenly said, what? Father? But you're a Saiyan! I am the adopted Cooler. I'm the adopted daughter of Cooler. Oh, Christ, I'm getting it wrong. It's alright, feel free to laugh with me, I do this sometimes. I am the adopted daughter of King Cold. I am Princess Gine. What? Gine? And everyone's just sort of murmuring about themselves. And, well, to some of the higher-ups, the name Gine was familiar. Just some sort of street urchin that had been in a bit of trouble for, sort of stealing and things like that. Gine? You mean you're that little urchin who used to steal from the markets? Your power level was barely noticeable. How'd you get so strong? That's hardly any concern of yours. I am here doing my duty to my father and making sure you monkeys aren't mucking things up. And they're just bewildered by this. A Saiyan who's just so much, talking so much like Cooler and King Cold. It's unbelievable. And Vegeta considers this like a completely huge insult, but however, he's got to sort of swallow his pride. He is no match for Gine. And more or less, the inspection of things is going rather smoothly. Things are pretty much running, like clockwork. And even more so with Gine sort of more or less managing the place. And she actually more or less becomes intrigued with this certain group of Saiyans who have sort of, like her, come from nothing and have proved themselves more or less on the battlefield according to their records. And well, I'm talking about Bardock and his crew. Bardock, who was born more or less a low-class Saiyan, has risen up above the ranks, taking on these seemingly impossible missions and getting stronger. And well, this actually impresses Gine quite a bit, and she basically demands an audience with Bardock and the others right then and there. And well, with that, more or less, Bardock and his crew are introduced to Gine in very different circumstances, than in the original timeline. And well, Gine is basically offering them a spot right then and there in Frieza's elite, and basically implying that their talents are wasted, serving this inferior king. And well, they more or less don't really like Gine's tone there, but they more or less accept the job, being one of King Cold's elites. I think I said Frieza before, I mean King Cold. And well, with that, the inspection is done. She reports back in to her adopted father, who is very impressed with her work, and that she managed to find a group of Saiyans that are comparable and powerful enough to serve in King Cold's elite. And well, this is where King Cold basically breaks the news to Gine that he will be retiring soon and handing the reins over to his son. Wait, his son? You mean Cooler? I thought you had him decommissioned. No, well, a certain development has happened since you've been gone. And well, this is where King Cold introduces Frieza to his big Saiyan sister, Gine. This is your little brother, Gine. This is Frieza.
Oh. How do you do there, Frieza? Oh, I assure you, Gine, the pleasure is all mine. I've been looking forward to meeting my big sister. It's a shame I could never meet my big brother Cooler.
Well, with all the pleasantries out the way, King Cold, is more or less leaving Frieza's studies in the hands of Gine. Of course, she does have Kikin and Berry Blue helping her as well. And well, with that, I think that's actually where we will leave things for this What If. Just for now. So what do you guys think? Do you like this story? You think there's potential there for more parts? Would you like to see more parts of this What If? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll be back again next time. And yes, personally, I found it pretty fun actually doing this story, so yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to doing more. So that is it for day 1 of Gine Week.